in a year. He was drunk, driving up Pellissippi Parkway. He had a wreck in his Camaro. The gear shift went through his heart and killed him. That's a true story. This is the reason that I preach the gospel, but because there's young people here tonight, and because I know God wanted me to preach this message, I had to figure out exactly why, but I know exactly why. I knew I'm talking to mainly tonight. It's easy to sin. It's easy to want to go with your friends and follow the crazy. Come on, because you can't fool the preacher. I've done 1,000 times worse than what some of you have done. But you can't live that way. And you don't want to die in your sin. You don't want to die lost. You don't want to die, like Jesus said here, cold and away from me and miserable and in a wretched condition. There was this girl one time, I used to see her when I was a kid. My wife's married. I'm married to my beautiful wife. Now she'll let me preach them under the anointing. At least I hope she will. And she was a real pretty girl. She was a cheerleader. And something happened one night. We was at a party and something happened. Anyway, we didn't get along very well, and I've always remembered I didn't forgive her. God wasn't saved back then. I didn't know God, but a year later she had gone to this party and she was drinking and she got drunk and she had eaten spaghetti and she regurgitated, and because she was passed out, it got stuck in her throat and she drowned in her own vomit and died. That's a true story. I know that may sound gross. I know it may sound hard, but she wasn't ready to meet God and she died and went to hell. The Laodicean church is a church that's on its way to hell. It's a church that didn't have God in the midst of its life. The church is not a building. Look, this church that we're in is not, God's not talking to the brick or the mortar or the stone. Hear this preacher. God is talking to the church. The stones are the living stones. If you're alive, you're alive. Or if you're dead, you're dead. But one of the Satan's tools and the tactics of the devil is to make you think that you're going to miss something. Make you think if you're young, listen to me, you're young, I've got plenty of time. He makes you think that you're going to miss something. Oh, I know, I've been there. I've heard his voice. I remember being in parties with devils. Literally hearing them. Literally being in the midst of parties where there were devils involved. But tonight, God, stand with me. God just wants to help you tonight. How many young people have heard this message and it's touched you tonight? Throw your hand up high. Come on, be honest with the preacher. Come on. I want the young people to come up here that raised your hand. I knew that God was speaking to you, and I appreciate you obeying the Lord. Anybody else that needs to come to this altar tonight, don't stand there. Come on.
Thanks for joining with us for the broadcast from New Beginning Worship Center in Greenback, Tennessee. We are located at 6501 Highway 411 South in Greenback, Tennessee, zip code 37742. Emails may be addressed to nbwcmailbox@gmail.com. Pastor Marcus Severance and the congregation invite you to join with us Sundays at 10 a.m. for teaching, followed by worship services at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. We also meet midweek at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. We're located on Highway 411 in Greenback, Tennessee, just 3 buildings down from the intersection of Highway 95. If you can't meet with us in person, please join us again next time for our broadcast.